Unfortunately, we did fold, not because we wanted to, but because I guess, and this is the hardest part too, because I value being a part of Ainslie, I really do. But it was the unfortunate part of volunteers are amazing, but we can't run a club, if that makes sense. We can't run a club without the support, I guess, and it doesn't mean it has to be paid positions, but honestly, without the dedicated positions that you look at any sporting club that they have, you can't grow. We would have only ever been a small, tiny club, if that makes sense. So at most, we had 4 teams across several age groups. So I think the biggest catchment, our probably most successful year, was including so with Auskicks up to our under 10, under 11 type age group, down to our the little tiny Oz kickers from ages like 5, 4 and 5. We had like 60 kids. That was I guess, and even then that was quite a challenge to manage all of that, and all the bits that go with it, registrations, uniforms and all the parts that go with that. But we made it work. It was amazing. Some great supports were in that play who wanted it to work too. So it was. It's disappointing that we had to fold, but a team of a committee of 3 or 4 who volunteer their time can't sustain a club. And I think you're right. It was bittersweet. Leaving that experience behind and moving into the next one. And I have to admit, Simon knew me so well. He knew that I would never hold back. So I moved, I kind of observed, it was almost like observing the sidelines for a little bit. When we moved across to Ainslie, and I have to admit, apart from so little few handful, all of our Lakes Giants teams moved across to Ainslie. So, which was great because we could, that connection, that community feeling that we always had, we moved and transitioned that into Ainslie. We brought that with us. I was doing some administrative work for Simon, so some behind the scenes work, looking at our qualifications of our coaches, our working with vulnerable people, first aid qualifications. So developed a database so that we could capture all of that information and keep tabs on when renewal dates happen. So so when my kids went to training, I walk around with my clipboard and checking in with all the coaches. Do you have you working with vulnerable people? And write down all the regos. Do you have your coaches like level? Do you have your level 1 first aid certificates? Who's your first aid officer? I organised first aid training for the club as well for a little bit. So I took that role on board. So it was more the administrative side of it, and then I took on team managing again. Moving into, so continued team managing, and still do. I'm still team managing, but have always done other things on the side. Did registrar one season, which, that was a mammoth task, but still I did it. I enjoyed it. It was a new thing to learn as well. I find too, it's always beneficial to learn new skills that you might not already have. So, bringing in that, and as course too, that was the season I did the registrar role was not, I think it might have been the second season that Ainslie opened up to girls as well, for youth girls. Huge. I think we had over 400 registrations, and to manage 400 registrations, that's phenomenal. Like that was, like Lakes Giants was, maybe 65. Those who have helped me and supported me along the way, definitely Simon, who's always, been there, and, I'll rock up to the house at all times, really. Sue Ann has always been amazing. Jono's always been amazing. My coaches are amazing because I think when you see that others are getting just as much out of it as you are, it spurs you and thrives you to keep going, that you are providing that value.